Hey strangers, welcome to the Dark Diaries. Before we turn on the lights, please leave a like and subscribe and save this story from being lost forever. I thought I left the shadows behind, until the shadows remembered my name. My name is Ethan Cole. I'm 45, married, 2 kids, a house with an actual lawn, and a job that's stable enough to be boring. I'm what you'd call normal, but I haven't always been. Not many people know this, but in a former life, I ran a niche encryption business on the dark web. Back then, I went by the name Obscura Node, and what I built was designed to make people disappear. Not literally, but digitally. Clean exit kits, ghosting protocols, tools that could make someone go untraceable online in under an hour. At least that's how it started. I got into the dark web when I was 12. Just dumb curiosity at first. Forums with edgy names, onion links, weird puzzles. By 18, I wasn't just browsing, I was building. My tools didn't leak. They worked, and word got around. I charged in Bitcoin before most people knew what it was. Clients showed up anonymously, usually polite, usually vague. I need to disappear. Can you build me a dead man switch? What happens to my files if I die? I never asked questions. That was the rule. But there was always one client who stuck with me. Their handle was Null Seeker. They paid 10 times the norm, requested bespoke versions of my tools, and they never, ever reused a reply address. Their notes were often just strings of binary, base 64 blobs, or weird phrases like, light needs a vacuum to breathe, creepy, poetic stuff. I ignored it. I told myself, just focus on the code. Until one day, one of my tools, something I designed for encrypted medical data, turned up in a human trafficking bust. It was the same signature. Mine. I wasn't named, but I knew, and I quit. Cold. I wiped everything. Burned drives, vanished from that world like I'd never existed. That was 3 years ago. And then, just last week, I got a message. It popped up on a Reddit account I hadn't used in over a decade. One tied to Obscura Node. The subject line? Just a single word. Hi. The body contained a link, an old onion address. Below that, a string of characters. It took me less than a second to recognize it. It was my own encryption, one of my earliest builds. Sloppy, naive, but unmistakably mine. Curious and uneasy, I fired up an old virtual machine, booted through a chain of VPNs, and followed the link. It was a hidden forum, dark background, gray text, minimalist layout, just like we used to build them. At the top of the page, welcome back Obscura, and beneath it, a high-res image of the front of my house. Another image, my kid's school, taken from across the street, a shot of me today, walking my dog. There was no message, just one line of encrypted text, and the encryption key was one only I would recognize. I sat there staring at the screen for I don't know how long. At first, I convinced myself it had to be a prank, but nobody should know about that Reddit account. Nobody should have my old keys, and definitely nobody should have those photos. I didn't tell my wife. What would I say? Hey honey, remember that time I helped the darkest corners of the internet stay invisible for money? No, I changed the locks, updated my firewalls, and I didn't sleep that night. The next day, I checked the forum again. There was a new message. Still building shadows, Obscura? That's when I knew. Whoever this was, they didn't just find me. They knew me. They studied me. They wanted me back. I dug deeper. tried to scrape metadata, pull IP traces. But whoever built that forum, they were good. Too good. In fact, the way the server obfuscated its headers and spun new routes every refresh, that looked eerily similar to a protocol I'd written myself years ago. And then came the third message. This time, it arrived on my main Reddit account, the one I use now, the one I post parenting memes from, the one tied to my real email. It just said, "Nice lawn, Ethan," and included a GPS coordinate. It was a pin to the exact spot where I stood when I read it. I reopened the forum, hands shaking. A new message had appeared at the top of the page. "You built the system. Now come fix it, or we do it for you."